I'm Dr. Shane Keaveney. I'm the R&D manager at Keaveney Medical. Keaveney Medical is a contract manufacturer in the medical device industry. So I guess our expertise really is understanding what it means to make a medical device. So from the regulatory side with the FDA, the processes that are required, the quality kind of management systems that must be put in place, the standards we have to meet, and also our customer needs. So for instance, if we have a new product from a customer, what does that mean when we go from concept to design, prototype into full-scale production? The specific challenge of our pilot is around additive manufacturing for medical devices. Now, within that, there's a serious cost associated with post-processing additive manufactured parts, so specifically for metal. So when we produce, say, a spinal implant cage with titanium 6.4, there may be some post-processing such as support removal, and we may need to do some cleaning. We may need to polish some surfaces or finish some surfaces, and these can be quite time-consuming. The other problem is that typically with additive manufacturing, it's a high value add process. So more or less it adds a lot of value to a part or a component, but it's an expensive process to run. So you only really use it for components or parts that really need it. In that case, you have a very high variety and low volume for batches. So that means a lot of different parts, a lot of different sizes, a lot of types. So again, that's more difficult to automate. If we have something that's very consistent, it's the same parts over and over again in very high volume, it's so easier to justify automation. But where we have high variety and low volume, it's much more difficult from a financial point of view to justify automation. So hence it kind of makes the automation more expensive on a part per part cost basis. Well, I guess in the current situation, it's quite a lot of work. It's quite a challenge, and there can be quite a lot of repetitive tasks that are maybe not that engaging. So for the operator, it's a challenge mentally, physically. It's quite intense work. For the project itself, I think the challenge for the operator is to accept an automated solution. So for instance, if you go from an operator having a lot of manual finishing or manual inspection or a lot of inspection that they understand, and you change that into a new type of technology and a new, say we use AI for instance and some vision systems to do our inspection, the challenge for the operator is to really trust the system. So I think there's probably a trust issue for the operator when we go from what they know to what the future should be or could be. So they're the main challenges. I think it's the combination of very advanced hardware as well as software. So we take AI for instance, we're working with the latest technology for inspection. In robotics, the latest strategies for robotics as well, looking at say force monitoring for instance to control pressure during polishing, this type of thing, as well as obviously advanced printing design. So there's quite a lot of really cutting edge stuff going on, so I think that makes it quite extraordinary. And also you have quite a range of partners from across Europe. So again, I think the coming together of such a wide variety of expertise, both academic and industry, is quite a big deal, so it makes it quite good. I think really the bringing together, like I said, of the expertise of all the various partners within the consortium and actually trying to define what the challenges are and the potential solutions and how we might get there. So again, these are quite complicated problems, so I think to actually define that initially is really good and a really good achievement. As they always say, a very well-defined problem makes a very good solution. So I think that was really the goal of the first year, was definitely to have a defined solution and a one that we could actually achieve as well and tackle. As I said, operator trust, I think that's one. I think also the cost benefit will be a big one. So as I said, some of these technologies might be a little bit expensive, so it's to try and balance the cost of a solution with the actual profit or the economic success that it will have. I think the other piece is that you're dealing with quite complicated components, products. So handling that variety and complexity within a generic kind of system will be a challenge, definitely. There's also quite a challenge for handling the amount of data that we're going to deal with too. So there's quite a lot of challenges in there, but again, we have the right team to deal with it. Impact, well, I think resilience is the big one for us. So one of the things, one of our core pillars we'll say is resilience. So we try to make sure that we're resilient to change. So whether that be change within the industry, change within the economic situation, whatever it might be within our workforce. So if we can become more resilient in terms of how we deal with new products, how quickly we deal with them, how cost effectively we deal with them, that makes us, as I said, resilient to economic change, but also to, say, competitors. So if we can get a competitive edge with this solution, it's going to have quite a big impact for Crum. So we can win new business, for instance, and with our existing customers, we can reduce the costs of current product, make things easier.